Alright, Schlockmeisters fans, we're going to watch another one of these Amicus anthology ones. This one is called Asylum. Let's check it out. Dr. Martin arrives at an asylum for a potential new job.
Dr. Starr is upstairs now.
What, with the patient?
Dr. Starr is a patient.
Doctor got sick.
I'm Max Reynolds, the author.
Dr. Rutherford wants him to go upstairs and meet some of the inmates at this asylum. First he meets Bonnie.
Nobody listens.
I listen too.
You wouldn't believe me.
Bonnie tells her story, and then we see that story played out. She's talking to her lover,
Not if you follow the plan.
Walter. Problem is that Walter's married to Ruth.
Civilized man is forgotten.
I wish you'd forget all this mumbo jumbo.
She's into voodoo, by the way. She knows about Bonnie.
I'm glad you haven't. Because I told you then, and I'm telling you now, there won't be any divorce.
But he still is going to follow through with his plans, and that includes killing Ruth. Now he's chopped her up into several pieces and has wrapped them up, and he's going to hide her in the freezer. Well, he hears a rustling in the kitchen, and he goes to take a look, and guess what? Ruth is back. He goes to check on the rest of her body, and this is the last we see of him alive. And then Bonnie comes over. She can't find Walter anywhere, so she wanders down to the basement and checks the freezer, but finds Walter. And then she starts finding the body parts, and they're coming after her, which then chase her all around the basement. Was she chopping at that hand or her face?
Now do you believe me?
Well, he leaves Bonnie, and now he's supposed to go meet Bruno.
Bruno? Dr. Martin.
Here's Bruno the tailor.
My Schlout. I'm tailor on Saturday morning.
He doesn't have his rent.
Bright and early. And if you haven't got the rent, you can start packing.
This is his tailor shop.
Something
Then Peter
special.
Cushing comes in and says he wants him to make a suit with the special fabric. He'll pay him 200 pounds.
Very special. Listed here.
But these times, they're all past midnight.
So he's only supposed to work from midnight to 5 a.m. Worked a little longer, got tired, and poked himself. Bled on the fabric, but then the blood disappeared. So he finishes it and comes by to deliver it personally.
This way.
Peter Cushing said that's for his son, who we haven't met yet.
The same financial position as yourself.
He doesn't have the money, though.
Don't misunderstand. In a very short while, I shall be in funds again. Just as soon as my son returns. There's nothing in there, I tell you.
He doesn't believe him that he has no money or any possessions. Runs into the next room, and then he finds Peter Cushing's son.
Son, here's the one I was working for, planning for. The book told me what to do. That's why I had to make the suit. Just for him.
They get into a fight. He didn't want to turn over the suit without his money. A struggle ensues. And down goes Tarkin. Quickly, Bruno leaves, but he grabs the magic book that Cushing said he paid a ton for.
The suit, forget I ever made the suit, forget about Mr. Smith, forget everything. Bernie.
The suit was meant for a corpse, And apparently once you put the suit back on, it brings you back to life. Instead, she put it on the mannequin.
I put it on Otto.
Otto?
I made a name for him. I talk to him often when I'm alone.
She finds out about the murder. She goes crazy and wants to call the police.
You must find him.
I asked to see a lawyer.
Next up is
I
Barbara,
told you to send for one.
This is Dr. Martin.
Charlotte Rampling.
But I'm not ill. You can see that. And get me out of here. It wasn't my fault. You've got to understand that. I had nothing to do with it. It's Lucy.
So then we see Barbara coming home from the mental hospital
How do you feel, Barbara?
some
Look, marvelous.
point earlier.
I feel fine. George, if only knew how wonderful it is to be coming home again.
That's her brother. This is Miss Higgins, the housekeeper slash nurse.
It's my mother. I'm afraid she's had an accident. I must go to her.
Well, Barbara takes some pills, and then when she comes out of the bathroom, she sees Britt Eklund. That is Lucy.
Nothing, I just feel a little faint.
Have you been taking those pills again?
No. No, that's all over.
Lucy has a plan.
What to do?
I've got to get you away from here.
And we haven't got much time.
So somebody is spiking George's tea.
Well, I'll expect you.
Time to go.
You're so loud. He'll hear you. George?
I got some vicinity.
More, Lucy, than I promised.
She's mad that she's been taking those pills again.
I'm taking them.
You mean you don't want to have it?
You've always had a choice.
George or the pills? Me or the pills, and the pills always win.
So she tosses the pills at her and leaves.
Lucy! George?
And I think they did more than spike his tea. Miss Higgins calls the police, and then she takes a knife to the belly also.
There, Barbara. Now you're free. Free of all of that.
Do you understand why I must see a lawyer? They said I killed them. They say my fingerprints are on the shears. It's Lucy. There she is. Don't you see her? Don't you see her? Don't you see her?
He calls himself Byron. Dr. Byron.
Our fourth and final story, Herbert Lom.
Byron? Who are the subject?
He's created these doll things.
Former colleagues of mine. Of course, I had to model their faces from memory.
Quite are we?
Oh, it's more.
I'm afraid I put my belief in science.
So do I. If I could breathe my consciousness into one of these figures, that figure will come alive. That's right, go. Run away and hide from the truth like that idiot downstairs. But it won't do any good, you know. You can tell Rutherford for me. Tell him the truth. We'll find him out.
Well, he's got one of his little dolls that looks exactly like him, with his own face on it, and he somehow wills his body into it and sets him off. He doesn't want the job.
I'm disappointed in you, Martin.
Why? Because I refuse to play games with you?
Yes, I think the time has come to take violence toys away from them.
He finds the thing and kills it.
He cried out. By the time I got to his room, it was too late. He's dead. All of his body was crushed.
Later on in the orderly's office, he finds a body. He said he was an orderly.
I am Dr. Starr.
Looks like history's going to repeat itself.
Thank you. Better keep the door closed.
All right, let's talk about Asylum now. This is actually the follow-up to Tales from the Crypt, which I reviewed about a week ago, and then following this one was Vault of Horror, which I also reviewed about a week ago. This one was the one in the middle, and like the other Amicus anthology movies, this one has multiple stories in it. It's got 4 movies, actually. The premise here is that a guy is going to this mental asylum to perhaps get a new job there as the doctor, director, whatever. So he goes in there and he meets this one doctor who says, well, the doctor you were supposed to meet is actually a patient now. He's been he's gone haywire and he's in a mental institution upstairs somewhere. I want you to go upstairs to try to identify which one he is. So with that, he goes upstairs and he has to interview the 4 patients up there and hopefully identify which one it is. The first one he goes into is we meet a guy, and then we basically hear his story, or it's a woman. It's her story. Her story was about she was with this guy who was married. The guy wanted to leave his wife, decided to kill his wife, chopped her up, put her in the freezer, and then her frozen parts started coming back to life and first killed him and then went after her. And then, of course, everybody thought she was the killer, so she got put away in this place. The next story is featuring a tailor who made a coat for Peter Cushing. Peter Cushing wanted a special coat that could only be made after midnight and between midnight and 5 a.m. He gave him the special material. It was like a black magic thing. What the tailor didn't know was that he wanted to bring his son back to life. Well, when he didn't have the money to pay him, the two got into a struggle. A gun was pulled and Peter Cushing ended up getting shot. He brought the suit back to his place, and his daughter, I think it was his daughter, put it on a mannequin. The mannequin came to life and then killed him. And then we cut back to him in the asylum, and of course everybody thinks he's crazy because that couldn't have happened. Then we hear the third story, Lucy Comes to Stay, featuring Charlotte Rampling and Britt Eklund. Charlotte Rampling returns from a mental institution, and she has this quote-unquote imaginary friend played by Britt Eklund who kills people in her house, including the brother and the housekeeper. Of course, they think she's imaginary, and that Lucy did, or not Lucy, Charlotte Rampling's character, I can't remember her name though, but they think she's the one who did it all. Of course, she's just crazy apparently. And then the fourth story is this guy who's made these mannequin robot doll things, and they kill the doctor there. And then it finds out that the orderly actually was the doctor. And then he ended up strangling the would-be doctor. And then the next day comes some new doctors coming to apply for the job, and that's how it ends. So it's like it's going to repeat itself over and over again. So that is Asylum. So anyway, I had this on a Memorex tape, I think it was, and I taped it back, I think, in the spring of '86. I actually had this on the same tape that I had Phantasm on. Great tape. So anyway, that's it, Asylum. It's available on DVD for sure. I believe it's on Blu-ray too. I've had this DVD probably for 20 years, and I haven't seen this movie in a very long time, and it was fun to watch. So I do recommend them. All these Amicus ones are pretty darn cool, so you should check them out. I'll leave a link down below if you're looking to buy it, and you should buy it. So click that link, buy it, watch it, and leave some comments on my channel. Let me know what you think about it. Asylum, watch it. Bye.